Our recommendation for that too is around 15 to 25%. So our recommendation and the town's policy are pretty consistent there. But so it is only 2%. I know, just a few years ago there was a deficit in fund balance, and so now the past couple of years, fund balance has been incrementally starting to increase. This was sort of expected to be a multi-year catch-up in a sense, multi-year situation of trying to get fund balance back up to a sufficient, reserve, a sufficient balance in case of any unexpected expenditures or decreases in funding. You would have that reserve in place just in case. But again, the past couple of years, fund balance has been starting to tick up a little bit, which is a good sign. Page 2, the top there is a summarized, essentially budget to actual statement. So again, those budgeted numbers that we have there are the original budget. So as I mentioned previously, once if those budget amendments are approved here tonight, we will get that included in the final audit report to show it as the final amended budget amounts. But then in actuality, you'll see that fund balance did increase about $22,000 in 2025. And then we also have a comparison there of the town's general obligation debt to its overall debt capacity in 2025 and 2024. So you'll see that in 2025, general obligation debt outstanding did increase from 2024. So the town does now have 2 bank loans, essentially. But taking that into account, those 2 bank loans was, just over 2% of the town's overall potential, its overall debt, general obligation debt capacity. So well within its overall debt limit there. Then starting on page 3, we have a 5-year, essentially a trend analysis of the general fund's expenditures. Now I won't get too in depth or really discuss historical data there, but really just comparing 2024 and 2025. There were some increases there. So for example, the green line, that's public works. So that had a pretty steep increase, and mostly related to increased road projects in 2025 compared to 2024. The blue line there is, I guess the blue diamond line there is general government. So that had an increase, but mostly related to increased legal fees in 2025 compared to 24. Then the orange line is debt service. So again, there's additional debt taken out, or increased debt balances, therefore increased debt service payments between years as well. But again, depending on the year, so there were some larger fluctuations in the past 5 years. It really just depends on the year. If there's significant, again, capital, road type projects, or other types of expenses, it really just depends from year to year. But for the most part, other than those larger fluctuations, expenditures have stayed fairly consistent. Page 4, now just another representation of the expenditures, just a pie chart analysis here. Essentially identifying, the percentage of each piece of the pie of the different expenditure classifications for 2025 and 2024. So due to some of those larger increases in 2025, those percentages did fluctuate some, just depending on the expenditure classification, but those can essentially be explained with increases during the year. Page 5 is another 5-year analysis, now the general fund's revenues. So as you can see, the tax levy, tax revenue is the largest revenue source of the town. And that did have a pretty significant increase from 2024 to 2025. The main reason for that is in 2024 there was a special meeting of the electors to increase the tax levy essentially. So that was by about $145,000. So the electors did approve that. That's why that increased from 2024 to 2025. But other than that, the other revenues between years, the other revenue sources have also stayed really consistent as well. And then page 6, another pie chart analysis, now for the general fund's revenues. Again, with that larger fluctuation in the tax levy, tax revenues, that percentage of the pie, the tax percentage of the pie did increase there, and that sort of flowed down to some of the other revenue classifications as well, decreasing some of those other ones. And then lastly, one final five-year analysis, now again comparing the overall debt capacity, general obligation debt capacity, and comparing that to what was actually outstanding in the past 5 years. So the blue line there is the town's overall debt limit, and the red line is the actual outstanding general obligation debt the past 5 years. So again, just no representation that the town is well within its debt capacity. Even between 2024 and 2025, I guess even from 23 up to 25, debt has been increasing a little bit, but still, again, well within the overall debt limit there. And we do also in the table below there, we note the town's equalized value. And the reason we have that there is because the general obligation debt limit in any given year is 5% of the town's equalized value. So essentially, when the town's estimated fair market value that the state provides you, the equalized value, when that goes up, so does the town's debt limit as well. So just wanted to point that out as well. Now, with that being the last item of the presentation, are there any questions that you as a board have for us with regards to the audit this year? Any clarifications or points of discussion?
One quick question for you, Jeff. On page 1, that assigned fund balance is assigned to include the LJIP amount that we have?
So the assigned, yes,
Okay.
yes. The assigned fund balance is essentially the airport's fund balance that they have, but then also the town's reserve, the town's LJIP reserve funds too.
Questions, Mr. Montgomery?
No.
All good?
Well, like I said, if those budget amendments get approved tonight, feel free to, Michelle, send those off to us. We will get that in the final audit report. And I think the last thing we'll need, Megan will probably send it out, is just the management representation letter. And probably Michelle or Josh, you may sign there, and then once we get that back, we'll be able to finalize an issue. So, and then, of course, the Form C, as I mentioned, just a reminder, that's due on Friday, so we'll just want to get your final approval before we submit that. But otherwise, I think that's sort of where we're at.
Any other questions? Is there a motion to accept the 2025 Town of Palmyra audit?
I make a motion to accept Johnson Block audit 2025.
Including management letter and Form CT?
Yes.
I would second the motion. Any additional discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Appreciate your work this year.
Yeah, of course. Our pleasure.
With that, I would move to advance agenda item number 9 to the next new business item, which is request for adoption of resolution 2026-02, 2025 budget transfer resolution number 1. Is there a second to that motion? To move it up.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item number 9. Request for adoption of resolution 2026-02, 2025 budget transfer resolution number 1. Not sent out a hard copy. That is, I believe, what Michelle printed out this afternoon, this evening.
Should be somewhere.
This guy. There we go. There is a hard copy. Thank you.
There's another one if somebody's short.
So this is a resolution approving the amendment of the 2025 budget of the town of Palmyra adopted by the town board under Wisconsin statute 6590 sub 5. Whereas there is a need to amend the 2025 town of Palmyra budget to reflect material changes in anticipated revenues and expenditures during the 2025 operational year. Now therefore be it resolved that the town of Palmyra, that the town board of the town of Palmyra, Jefferson County, Wisconsin, does hereby authorize and approve the amendments to the 2025 budget as set forth below. The net adjustment for revenues would be $41,059, made up of increased revenue from the airport, increased proceeds from debt service, and the transfer funds out of the LGIP. $6,275 from the airport, $47 proceeds from debt, and $34,737 from the LGIP. Offset by increased and or decreases in expenditures, fire and EMS, election salary and expense, general administration clerk, office supplies and expenses, legal town, auditor, insurance and bonds, mileage and reimbursement, meals for election workers, signs, fire and highway signs, highway and street maintenance for the town, ice and snow, mowing, patching, highway and street construction, tree service, airport, general building electric, sanitary refuse and garbage, recycling, cemetery, the other culture item, which is the American Legion, the library, the band, and in this case the Ice Age Trail Alliance, to amend for that, as well as adjustment to the principal for debt service of $2,411. So those are offsetting revenues and expenses as presented. Be it further resolved that this resolution will be published on the town's website within 15 days of adoption, if adopted, this 11th day of May, 2026, on a roll call vote from the town board. Is there a motion to approve resolution 2026-02?
I make a motion to approve resolution number 2026-02.
I would second that motion. Is there any discussion regarding the resolution? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying, I'm sorry, roll call vote.
Gajewski,
Aye.
Montgomery.
Aye.
Motion passes 2-1. No, I'm sorry, 2-0. So, then we move back to item number 7. Discussion and possible action regarding proposed ordinance 2026-01, an ordinance adopting Blue Spring Lake boat launch ordinance. Does anyone from the Lake District that was involved with this feel inclined to stand up and provide an overview?
I guess I will. My name is Bob Sukup. I'm the treasurer in the Blue Spring Lake Management District. This is something we've been working on since last fall. We've had a boat launch fee ordinance in place since 2018. And our intention was to have a higher launch fee for large boats, 26 feet or greater. And the reasoning behind it was because many of the work barges on our lake that put in piers and shorelines are causing substantial wear and tear in the boat launch, so we wanted to enable ourselves to charge them a little more to compensate for that wear and tear. And the DNR has a list of acceptable fees, and this fee amendment that we're proposing falls within that. We're proposing to charge those larger boats a launch fee of $20 a day or $200 a season. That's the overview.
Appreciate that. is there a motion regarding ordinance 2026-01?
I make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-01.
I would second that. Discussion. I have 2 points of discussion. Number one, I believe that we would be best suited that if there is no Blue Spring Lake patrol, to have that language pulled out of the ordinance, because there is no such body related to that. So I will be making a formal amendment regarding that, just a second here. Beyond that, the requirement of boat launch fees, both from the information that Mr. Sukup as well as Mr. Canestra provided, and some homework on my own, is that boat launch fees are required to be put back to use specifically at boat launch. So thank you to the Lake District. They provided 5 years at least, I believe it was, of information of more so fees collected than expenses incurred. But in the grand picture of things, in case I win Powerball between now and next month's meeting, I think that's a point of discussion as far as who's going to hold that money, how that works, and potentially part of an annual budgeting process as far as where that fund, so to speak, or those funds sit, what's been expensed and what hasn't been. So more of a administrative process, I think, between the two organizations than anything. But
Well, I can comment on it. The funds are all in a separate LGIP account. So we recognize that those funds can only be used for maintenance of boat launch and not for any other expenditures.
duly noted. So I believe it is in section 5 of the ordinance regarding the Blue Spring Lake Patrol. I would move to have that language struck from the ordinance in this draft. Is there a second to that?
Second.
All those in favor of the amendment, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So back to the original motion, which would be ordinance 2026-01, Blue Spring Lake Boat Launch Ordinance. Any further discussion? All those in favor of adoption, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 7A, discussion and possible action regarding proposed ordinance 2026-02, which would repeal ordinance 2018-3, Blue Spring Lake Boat Launch Ordinance. Is there a motion? I would move to repeal ordinance 2018-3. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, discussion and possible action regarding, discussion and possible action or direction regarding a request from the Blue Spring Lake Management District for the issuance of a fireworks permit. Is the applicant here?
Well, that's a good question. But we do have a concern with the application form that we were asked to complete, and we would like to discuss that concern. And the concern basically is the language in the application form, in our opinion, seems to suit a permit for a homeowner or an individual who would be putting on a fireworks show, and not for a professional fireworks display done by a licensed fireworks company, which is what we're proposing to do. And specifically, the last sentence in that application that says, any personal injury or property damage resulting from the fireworks shall be my responsibility and only I shall be held liable. Which, if you think about it from our point of view, we're hiring a fireworks company, we're providing insurance. And if you were to read this literally, it would mean they could never be liable, even if they created an incident.
Wow.
So we have concern with that, and we would like to do something to amend this application. I have looked at applications from several other towns. They don't have language like this in those towns. So we would like to request an amendment to this application, so we can submit this and get our fireworks permit.
Has your vendor had any other correspondence with you since we talked Saturday as far as the potential of signing it on behalf of the district?
Gina from Wolverine has not responded to me yet.
Okay.
I sent her the application and asked them specifically if they're gonna sign this, and I have no answer from her yet.
Okay. Two other, I think you got this information emailed as well, but they have provided us with their vendor contractor, their insurance, copy of their insurance policy, as well as the generic, if you go to Bartolotta's form that says we approve. So, I would move that we approve the permit contingent on that application being signed. If not, as I had said Bob on the phone, we do still have 2 months generally between now and 4th of July to be able to effectuate something different if needed. But that would be my motion to approve contingent upon receipt of the application signed by either the district or their vendor.
Will you consider a modification to the application form?
I'm not our town's attorney, so potentially, but that action wouldn't be taken tonight either. So we can at least conditionally approve it tonight, and if it goes through, then you're good. And if it doesn't, we're gonna be back here talking with our town attorney, because I believe he was the one that drafted the form a year and some change ago for an individual that signed it, so. But I'm only one vote.
But it's nearly unanimous.
It's only 50-50. Do we have a second on a conditional approval?
Second.
All right. Any other discussion?
So just, yes, Walter Nestor from Blue Springs.
Yes.
Just what permit are you giving us conditional approval on?
The one that isn't signed yet.
The one that you provided us?
Correct.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All those in favor of approval signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. So I would move to advance agenda item number 14 to the next new item of business. Is there a second to that?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Item number 14, discussion and possible approval of estimate dated 5/4/26 from Northwest Services for cleanup and restoration of storm damage to trees, repair of riprap on Lowland and Hooper Roads near Bluebird Ridge, and shoulder repair on Little Prairie Road. That is not the correct estimate. So, we have 3 days of cleanup and chipping, 1 day skid steer for trucking trees, Also itemized install and repair riprap on Lowland and Hooper at Bluebird, as well as the shoulders on Little Prairie Road with an estimate of 3 loads of gravel. All of this is time and material, correct? In discussing our other Lowland Road issue, so the culvert at hand right now on Lowland is a 60-inch culvert that serves generally as the outfall and bridge from rushing waters going, I'm gonna call it north, under Lowland Road. Repairs had been done, I believe, 2 years ago to that. Riprap and the stone had washed out, and now we've got issues right adjacent to the road on that, coupled with the Lowland Road culvert collapse that was noticed today. I believe that as a whole may be better suited for a second conversation, because Bob and I have thought a couple different options for this culvert as well as the one down the road, potentially extending the culvert to be able to get more stone in, to be able to put in an actual shoulder, or at least some semblance of an actual shoulder, as well as the potential for a flared end section on it. So the remaining items, tree cleanup with the skid steer as necessary, as well as the shouldering work. The shouldering work, frankly, we need to do because it is an issue. There's also a secondary issue going on Little Prairie Road as well with the DNR and their logging operation, which is completely separate. But as far as the trees go, at least for the last short bit here, and unfortunately most of the storm damage, like I discussed earlier, we had trees cleared off the road, and now we have to clear them out of the right of way. There has been input over the last 2 years from residents as far as, can't we just cut it up and leave it and see what happens? And now we're 2.5 weeks later, and some cases 3 months from some of the storms over the winter time, and now we are approaching, we need to mow the road right away, and no one has made the wood disappear yet. So total for the quote, $93.60 for the trees, $1,500 if necessary, $1,520 if the skid steer is necessary for a whole day. Shoulder repairs, $42.60. To the point made during public comment, what has worked and what has not for shoulders. We've tried a handful of different things. There was originally on Little Prairie Road, there was reclaimed asphalt shoulders, which held up for about 3 to 4 years. 2024, we had to dress shoulders. 2025, we had to redress some of those shoulders and take care of other shoulders on Little Prairie Road. Last winter, I'm gonna call it winter, I don't remember what month it was, November. Northwest went out and filled in what were the most egregious of the ruts. So that's sort of what has worked and sort of what hasn't. But
The half-inch TV seems to hold up better than the reprint. But when we got the monsoon, we had a hell of all winter. It looked really good, and then we had so many days of rain. Didn't take it out. But at least there's not as much as there was.
any thoughts? All right. I would move that we approve Northwest to do the tree clearing and the shoulder repairs on Little Prairie Road, and address Lowland and Hooper at a later juncture.
Second?
Any other discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Bouncing back,
How you doing, Nina?
we're done with you for now.
Great. I'm working. Have a beautiful night.
Bob, just a sec.
Yeah.
He's in a hurry to leave.
Got a better offer, I guess.
Nope.
There's one more.
It's not the way mine is, huh? Not the way mine
No, I know that feeling.
Thank you very much.
Sir. Item number 10, discussion and possible action on a request by the Riggs Farmstead LLC to rezone 2 acres of A1 to A3 to create a residential lot at N144 Watunsky Road from parcel 024-0516-3144-000. Is the applicant? No. Applicant is not here tonight. Okay. Short and sweet overview is they would like to pull 2 acres out of a parent parcel. Currently there is, I'm gonna call it a barn for lack of a better term, it's not really, more of a machine sheddy kind of pole barn. And make it eligible to build a home on. So, is there any motion, again, this would be a opinion referral to the Jefferson County Zoning Board for their continued review. Is there a motion on the item?
I make a motion to approve rezoning of 2 acres from A1 to A3 from parcel 024-0516-3144-000.
I would second that motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item number 11. Discussion and possible action on a request from Kevin Kleinschanz for conditional use permit for a 1,736 square foot, 17-foot high extensive on-site storage structure at W350 Pine Drive, tax parcel 024-0516-1234006. Is our applicant here? This is generally in addition to an existing detached garage, and given the square footage and height, makes it extensive on-site storage. The applicant indicated that will hopefully soon be retiring and would like to utilize this building as their retirement job area, I'll call it that. Anybody interested can look up Hey Kevin, because that's what it's called, so. Is there a motion from the floor on this?
I make a motion to approve the request for conditional use permit to allow for a 1,736 square foot, 17-foot high extensive on-site storage unit at W350 Pine Drive. Tax parcel 024-0516-1234-006.
I would second that motion. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye.